Our farm is situated in the Murray Inland Delta system. It's a landscape of floodplains and ephemeral wetlands. This landscape really speaks to me because it's so resilient. When it has water, it is amazing. It's so full of life and biodiversity, and I actually feel it's a real privilege to be able to live here and be a part of that. What happens to the landscape happens to us as a community. You can't separate the two. So our landscape was impacted incredibly by the millennium drought, and then we had the changes to the water market, and now we've had tacked on top of that these ongoing impacts of climate change. The opportunity for us to come together as a collective and do something positive that we can present to government agencies and to the carbon markets and to philanthropic investors, to present them with something positive and a message of hope is something that means a lot.
Part of my role is to really have a look at opportunities where farmers collectively and individually can look at opportunities for maximising their natural capital assets, but also enter into environmental markets. There is an opportunity here for farmers in environmental markets in carbon and biodiversity because it is a massively important carbon sink here. It was one of the largest concentrations of individual Ramsar protected wetlands, and we have an amazing biodiversity on farm and in some of the protected areas and riverine forests around here. There is an opportunity for private sector capital to really support farmers for environmental profit and also economic profit. We started a couple of years ago really looking at what could be a bespoke product, what could come from the Murray Inland Delta. We looked at a hydrated biolink, something that would use landscape rehydration techniques and would have wetlands at the heart of it. There's a lot of environmental value in all of that, establishing those links to existing refugia across productive land. But the beauty of it is that it's designed by farmers and ecologists and traditional owners and natural resource management experts in seeing how we could do many things at once and have multiple benefits. A whole of landscape approach is fundamental really to get scale and to really have a look at aggregating our buying and selling power as farmers, but also our impact. We've got 10 farmers who are open to looking for investment in carbon and biodiversity markets. It's really important that the true land stewards, who are the farmers and the ecologists and traditional owners, are a major part of designing this market. There is many benefits to productivity when you're able to look after your natural capital assets and you're funded appropriately to do it. I think that this type of project can really stimulate a restoration economy here.
To be honest, it's probably one of a kind, or definitely in our area, but maybe in Australia, of just the way they're using their amazing grassroots knowledge and connection and local experience to drive natural capital and environmental markets. I've been coming along and helping with the co-design of the project, so local land services are really committed to grassroots community. We really want to see these groups continue to thrive. We need to be looking after our community, we need to be looking after our environment, we need to be looking after our farms. So it's understanding the value of this environment and getting farmers rewarded for the work that they're doing to look after it.
Well, what I see is, people taking charge, people not sitting on the sidelines waiting to be told what to do, but taking action. This model, I think, is gaining momentum. I think they're starting to come around the co-design, the incorporation of First Nations, but also private landholders who have a strong interest in managing for environmental outcomes and biodiversity outcomes. These are private landholders with very important pockets of biodiversity, and so to support that is supporting biodiversity across the landscape. To take responsibility and action for yourself is very empowering, and to have people such as the Western Murray Land Improvement Group and Murray-Darling Wetlands Working Group and the Malloon Institute and all these amazing people help you and guide you, I mean, that to me is just job done. And if they can achieve what they're seeking, it'll be fantastic.
Western Murray Land Improvement Group has been, from the ground floor, really interested in the success of the Regen Farmers Mutual. It was co-designed by 70 farmers and land carers, and it was for farmers by farmers, and it's important that there is an environmental brokerage and also a communicator, an advocate for farmers maximising their buying and selling power in environmental markets. The Landscape Impact Program has really opened up an opportunity for the Regen Farmers Mutual and farming systems group like the Western Murray Land Improvement Group and other supporters like LLS and the Malone Institute to really be able to get together with farmers who are curious about what the opportunities are and really want to understand how they can access this in a way that is complementary to growing food and fibre, our main job, but is also really looking at a sustainable way of maximising our natural capital assets.
This is such an important landscape that it's a really, really important project, and if we can get it off the ground and if it can create a successful working model, then we'll be able to expand that across the footprint of our delta. For the community, for us as individuals, and for the landscape, and the agricultural enterprises that are attached to the farms around here, I think it's going to be really enriching.
We see three things coming together. When you have an opportunity to have a balance between really productive growing of food and fibre here with looking after your natural capital assets and understanding and valuing, but having that appropriate funding for it, it brings people together as it has in this program. But there is something really good for the soul when you see water in your wetland and your wheat crop growing and livestock around you. It's hope. This is about hope. Here is water is hope, and here is support for returning that water and returning some of the biodiversity that has been here in front of your eyes.